My bachelorette party got out of control, and the next morning, my fiancé found out.
My name is Karen. I am 26 years old and have been in a relationship with Adam, the love of my life. Adam was 1 year elder to me, and we met during college. But today, I am not here to talk about my love story. Today, I am going to be sharing something that I did, which was very unlike me. I was out with my friends for my bachelorette party, which was going all fine till I got carried. I am now in a dilemma if I should come clean with Adam about it or just bury it forever and take it to my grave. It's going to be one hell of a long post, so buckle up for a wild ride. Adam and I had been together right from the first day of college. We were in the same classes and quickly became close friends. Our friendship grew stronger as we navigated through the challenges of our coursework together, supporting and motivating each other along the way. I was coming from an all-girls school, and Adam was my first interaction with a guy outside of my family. Adam's presence in my life brought a refreshing change, allowing me to see the world from a different perspective. His easygoing nature and sense of humor made our friendship feel effortless, and I soon realized that he was becoming more than just a friend to me. I wondered if he thought the same about me. As time went on, I started to notice subtle signs that made me question if Adam felt the same way. The way he would look at me, the inside jokes we shared, and the increasing amount of time we spent together all seemed to suggest that there might be something more between us than just friendship. However, I couldn't help but feel hesitant to bring up my feelings to him, fearing that it could potentially jeopardize our friendship. It was almost time for us to leave college. We would be graduating soon, but there was no sign of any progress in my relationship with Adam. Maybe like me, even he did not want to ruin our friendship, and that was the reason why he was hesitant to ask me out. Despite our strong connection and the countless hours we spent together, the romantic tension between us remained unspoken. I couldn't help but wonder if taking a leap of faith and expressing my feelings would bring us closer, or risk losing everything we had built. Adam's parents had organized a graduation party at home for us. It was surreal that it had already been 3 years and we were going to be graduates. I got dressed and left for the party. The vibe of the decorations and everything else felt different to the theme of the graduation. I was asked to wait in the backyard for a while as Adam was getting ready. Well, that is weird. I have seen him even in his comfy t-shirts during our combined studies at home. I started walking along his backyard and noticed a few things hanging to the tree. I walked to the tree and started seeing what it was. There were pictures of me and Adam hung on the tree, capturing our memories throughout our years of friendship. It was a heartwarming surprise, and I couldn't help but smile as I reminisced about the countless moments we had shared together. Was this a sign that Adam was going to make a move tonight? I was really overwhelmed with emotions, and I knew that if at this moment Adam would come up to me and ask me out, I would have said yes with tears in my eyes. Adam's mom came back and asked me to get in. I went into the living room, which was dark and only lit with very few candles. It was difficult for me to navigate the way. I hit my leg as I started to walk forward, so I just stood still, waiting for my eyes to adjust to the darkness. It was still too dark to take a step. I then heard Adam from a distance directing me to make sure where to put my step without banging into other things. I finally reached the place where I could see a little. The lights went on as I reached there, and there was Adam on his knees with a ring in his hand. I was overwhelmed with surprise and joy as I realized that Adam was proposing to me. Tears welled up in my eyes, and I said yes and hugged him tightly. My heart raced with excitement as I eagerly accepted his heartfelt gesture, knowing that this moment would forever be etched in our memories. Adam told me that he would always be there for me, helping me find my way just like he did when I am surrounded by darkness. It was so sweet and profound that I can't even imagine having a more perfect proposal than this. We decided to get married after a year, since Adam knew the amount of obsession I had with having the perfect wedding. It's not my fault that I grew up in an all-girls school and fantasized about movies like 27 Dresses and Bride Wars. I felt like 1 year would be enough for me to make sure that every detail of our wedding was meticulously planned and executed. From the venue to the flowers, I wanted everything to be picture perfect. Plus, I wanted ample time to find the dress of my dreams and ensure that all my bridesmaids were on board with their roles and responsibilities. Additionally, I wanted to take the time to truly understand Adam's preferences and incorporate them into our special day, ensuring that it would be a reflection of both of us as a couple. I had all my girlfriends help me out, pick the venue and my wedding dress. Since all of us were from the same school, as teenagers, I and my friends used to talk a lot about the kind of guy we would marry and the details of the venue and the dress. I knew that we would be on the same level of excitement for all of this, and I needed all the positive energy around me. I was very excited about the wedding, which was now a month away. It had always been my fantasy to get married to the guy I loved at a destination wedding with all my friends as my bridesmaids. It was finally happening, and I could not ask for anything more in life. The anticipation grew as the big day approached, and I couldn't help but feel grateful for the support and love of my friends throughout the entire process. We had shared countless dreams and aspirations together, and now we were witnessing one of them come true. I was also very thankful to Adam for keeping my fantasies and desires in mind and not getting irritated with my overenthusiasm with the preparations for the wedding. Adam wanted to give me a week's break before the wedding so that I could relax and pamper myself without stressing about the wedding. We flew out 1 week before the wedding to Miami. I checked into the hotel and went to my room. All of my girlfriends were waiting for me in the room to give me a surprise. They had decorated the room with balloons, streamers, and a banner that read, "Bride-to-be." I was overwhelmed with joy and gratitude for having such amazing friends who went above and beyond to make me feel special. We spent the evening laughing, reminiscing, and indulging in delicious treats as we celebrated the upcoming wedding. It was the perfect start to my week of relaxation and pampering before saying I do. My girlfriends had organized a bachelorette party for me 2 days before my wedding. Adam was the only guy I had ever been with all my life. On the way to the club, my friends kept making fun of me for not trying to experiment or even try to consider having a little bit of experience with other guys before I decided to tie the knot. I always felt that I had been lucky that Adam was my first boyfriend, and I knew that he would never disappoint me. I did not have the need to find any other guys as he had everything that I wanted in the man I would be marrying. I was confident in my decision to marry Adam, as our relationship had always been fulfilling and loving. However, as my wedding day approached, a small part of me wondered what it would be like to have experienced other relationships. Nonetheless, I knew deep down that Adam was the one for me, and that our love was strong enough to withstand any doubts or curiosity. I trusted my instincts and believed that true love doesn't require comparison or exploration. The comments from my friends did make me wonder if I was missing out on something. Nonetheless, my unwavering love and satisfaction for Adam reassured me that I had made the right choice. The party was at a club that my friends had shortlisted, as it had the best bar and the perfect music. There were lots of drinks, and the music was just right. My friends wanted me to let go, as this would be the last time I would be able to have fun without thinking about the consequences. Initially, I was a little hesitant, but I felt a little bad for being a spoilsport, as they had put so much effort for me to have fun. So I decided that I should agree to their demands and have a little fun just for today. I ordered a round of tequila shots for everyone as a sign that I was agreeing to what they had planned for me. As the night went on, the atmosphere became more lively and carefree. The laughter and cheers filled the air, creating a sense of liberation. I let go of my worries and embraced the moment, realizing that sometimes it's important to indulge in spontaneous experiences without overthinking about the consequences. I wanted to show my friends that I could be fun and crazy and not be stuck up all the time. We went to the bar, and I ordered another round of shorts. As I was on my last shot, I felt a pair of unfamiliar hands on my back. I turned around and saw that it was a male stripper. I had asked my friends not to plan something wild and crazy like this. But my friends, being my friends, of course, did not listen to anything that I told them. The male stripper held my hand and took me to the dance floor. He started his sexy moves, trying to impress me. I decided to act as if I was enjoying myself and danced along with him. I tried to match his moves and be in the moment. He slowly made his way to the center of the dance floor and made me sit on a chair that was waiting for me. There was a spotlight on the chair, and everybody around me started cheering for me to take the seat. There was an announcement from the DJ to give it up for the soon-to-be bride. I did not want to ruin the fun, so I went ahead and took the spot I was supposed to. The stripper then started dancing around me and then gave me a lap dance. I was feeling all kinds of things in my stomach that I wasn't sure if it was because of the drinks or the lap dance. I told my friends that I needed some air and got out of the club. I puked everything that I had been drinking and was feeling much better. I went back inside and made my way to the bar. I was trying to ask for some water, but the bartender was too busy to even look in my direction. He was busy flirting with another girl. I was about to give up when I noticed a bottle of water placed beside me. I felt very unsure as it might have been spiked. To my surprise, it was unsealed, so I opened it and drank. I was feeling so good after hydrating myself. I noticed that the guy on my right was looking at me with a smile plastered on his face. I gave him a very annoying look as I knew guys always thought that it was easy to pick up girls at a bar. He said that usually in such situations people say thank you. I was not interested in talking to him and was about to go back to my friends when he asked if he could get his water back. I felt embarrassed that he was trying to help me, and here I was being very mean to him. I told him that I was sorry and I could make up for it. He said there was something I could do to make up for this mistake. I was genuinely feeling bad for judging him too quickly, so I agreed to make up for it. He asked me if I could spend some time with him and act as his girlfriend in front of his friends who were at the dance floor. I wasn't sure if he was making up stories just to get talking to me or he was really serious. I decided to see for myself and that it would be okay if it was true. I would just be helping someone in need. I agreed, and we went with him to the dance floor holding each other's hands. He pulled me by my hand and took me to where his friends were. He introduced me as his girlfriend, but nobody would believe him. They said that the only way they could believe that I was his girlfriend was if we kissed each other. At this point, things were getting really awkward, and it would be absurd for me to do something like kissing a stranger so spontaneously. I was trying my best to think of a way to get out of this situation, then even before I could realize, he kissed me. It was a very passionate and electrifying kiss. I could not stop myself from reciprocating it. I almost forgot that I did not know him. He looked at all his friends and told them if they would believe it now. They all looked satisfied that I was indeed his girlfriend. He excused us from them and said we were going to the bar for a few more drinks. He kept apologizing profusely for what he did back there, as he had no choice. He had to make sure that his friends stopped making fun of him for not having a girlfriend. I told him that it was not okay, but I understood where he was coming from. We ordered a few drinks, and he told me that it was on him for what he did just now. I wanted to refuse, but he was insistent. The DJ started playing one of my favorite songs, and I pulled him to the dance floor. We started dancing, and I'm not sure if it was the alcohol or the kiss that took over me. I started swaying to the beats of the song and whispered in his ear that he was a good kisser. He smiled at me and whispered very slowly in my ear if I wanted some more of it. I guess there was no harm in flirting with a stranger. I mean, we're never going to meet ever again in our lives. I would be married in the next 2 days, and he would be, I don't know, finding a girlfriend for himself. I thought there was no harm in being a little naughty, as today was all about letting go. I took my face very close to his lips and pecked his lips lightly. That was a cue to him, and he kissed me back very aggressively. There was something different about the way he kissed me that I could not get enough of it. After making out for a while, I realized that my friends might be searching for me. I told him to wait on the dance floor and that I'll be right back. I found my friends who were searching for me outside. I went to them and told them that I wasn't feeling too well and that I had to go home. I asked my friends if they had planned anything else that I would be missing. They told me that the stripper was the last thing that they had planned, so I was happy that I would not be ruining their fun. They asked me if they could help me get back to the hotel, to which I said that I would be fine. I knew I was being a bad friend by ditching them in the middle of a party organized by them for me, but they were not wrong in telling me that today would be the last day of my freedom. I could never be able to do anything as random as this ever again in my life. I hugged and thanked them for everything that they had done for me today, and also all help that they did with the wedding preparations. I was truly grateful to have such wonderful friends. I went to the dance floor and started looking for the guy I just met and kissed. I found him waiting for me at the dance floor just where I had left him. I pulled his hand and took him out of the club. Once we got out of all that music and noise, I asked him if he had a car. He looked at me with mischief in his eyes as if he understood what I was thinking. I told him that it's not what he's thinking. It's just that I wanted to get out of here. We got in the car and sat in silence for 1 minute. I was waiting for him to drive, but I don't know what he was waiting for. After about a minute, I looked at him with a puzzled face. He said that he was still drunk and cannot drive. I was about to get out of the car when he suddenly pulled me towards him and started kissing me. I tried to resist this for like 10 seconds, but he was so good that I just wasn't able to stop myself. He kept whispering sweet nothings in my ear that made me blush. He asked me to move to the back seat as it was more spacious. We moved to the back seat and started kissing each other again. We started undressing each other without breaking the kiss. After making out and being completely spent, we just hugged and lied down together. This was the wildest thing I had ever done. It had always been my fantasy to make out in a car. Adam had never been to the wild. He was always well-disciplined and a well-mannered gentleman. He never even allowed me to do anything stupid or crazy. What I did just now felt so right and so good that I forgot about everything else. After lying naked for a long time, we slowly got up and dressed ourselves. As I was about to get up and leave his car, he told me that I was the wildest person he had come across in his entire life. I could tell that he was a smooth talker who knows how to make girls blush. I thanked him for the compliment and decided to leave when he got up, came closer to me and kissed me again. Oh God, he was making it very difficult for me to leave. I just wanted to keep kissing him for a really long time. He knew he had that effect on me. He whispered in my ear that there was some motel nearby where we could crash for the night. Since he was drunk, he couldn't drive me home and would not like for me to go all by myself so late at night. He told me that he would be sober by morning and could drop me home then. I knew exactly where this was going, but I pretended not to and agreed to what he was saying. This was probably the last time I would be meeting him, as I really wanted to make the most out of tonight's situation. For me, it was like a sign from God to forget everything and enjoy it to the fullest. So we went to the motel and got out of the car and walked towards the room. We booked a room at the motel for the entire night. On our way to the motel, we bought a few bottles of beer to enjoy the night. We sat on the bed and there was an awkward silence. I decided to break the silence by opening a can of beer. I passed a can to the guy and we started drinking. I know that being sober would not help me to continue this. As we drank, we became a little more relaxed and started kissing each other. I could see that both of us would be blaming the alcohol in the morning for whatever happens tonight. We started making out again on the bed, which was much more spacious than the backseat of the car, to be very honest. I was enjoying the bed much better, as it had more room to access a lot of parts that I previously couldn't. We were making love and touching each other everywhere and moaning loudly. After some time, we got tired and just lied on the bed. I could not remember the last time I had so much fun having sex with Adam. I woke up the next morning to the sound of my alarm blaring in the room. I tried to find my phone, but everything looked so different and so new that I did not realize where I was. I finally found my handbag, pulled out my phone, and switched off the alarm. I sat on the floor trying to make sense of where I was. This was definitely not my hotel room. I tried to recollect the events from last night and looked at the bed. There was someone sleeping on the bed completely naked, and I had no idea who it was. I didn't realize that I was naked myself. Oh shit, did I just make out with someone I met yesterday at the bar? I don't even know his name. I wasn't that drunk that I don't remember what I was doing. I mean, I do remember what I did, but it was not like me to act this way. My head was spinning. I did not know if it was because of the hangover or the realization of what had happened last night. I started looking for my clothes, dressed myself, and slowly gathered my belongings, and rushed out of the room, making sure that whoever was sleeping did not wake up. It would have been too embarrassing if he woke up and started to have a conversation about last night. I definitely did not want him talking to me or to do anything with me. I was happy to get out of there unnoticed and without further complications. I got into a taxi and started making my way towards the hotel we were staying at. I pulled out my phone and saw lots of messages and missed calls from my friends and Adam. I was panicking right now, as I did not know how to handle the situation. Should I tell the truth or lie to them? It was my wedding tomorrow, and I knew for sure that I did not want the events from last night to affect my wedding in any way. I tried going through the messages from my friends. All of them just said that they were worried if I had reached the hotel, as I was not answering their calls or replying to their messages. They did come and knock on the door, but I never answered. They were worried if I got sick right before the wedding. There was no sign of doubt from any of them that I wasn't in my room. That was a good thing. I sighed in relief. I then read Adam's messages that he came to my room in the morning, but I wouldn't open. He too was worried and wanted to make sure that I was okay. I looked at the time, and it was almost noon. Should I tell Adam that I slept with my friends because I was too drunk after the Bachelorette party? Or should I just come clean to him about last night's events? I couldn't think straight as the hangover was killing me. I decided to first reach the hotel and then decide how things panned out. There was no use sitting in the car and panicking when I wasn't aware of the situation on the ground. I slowly sneaked into my hotel room, making sure none of my friends or Adam caught me. I quickly showered and got dressed. I called my friends and told them that I was pretty sloshed last night, so I couldn't answer any of their calls or texts. They were happy that I finally let myself out last night and had a good time. They told me that from tomorrow, I would have to be the proper and elegant wife of Mr. Adam Baker, and all of them laughed. I laughed along with them, mostly because I was nervous and guilty. Oh boy, did they know that I let go of myself and how. They would have fainted if I shared the details from last night. They wouldn't even believe me for a second as they never saw me with the guy. Well, it was a good thing for them not to know. They might blurt it out during the wedding and mess up everything. I made my decision not to tell a single soul about last night. After dealing with my friends, it was now time to deal with Adam. I took a deep breath and made my way to his room. He opened the door and let me in. I told him the same story that I told my friends. Of course, if I was going to lie, then I might as well keep it consistent. I didn't want to get caught up in my own lies. We all then gathered for the dress rehearsal. As I walked down the aisle, I saw Adam standing at the aisle, and standing beside him was the best man. There was a look of horror on my face when I saw the best man. He was the guy from last night from the bar. He had an innocent smile on his face, as if he did not even recognize me. I composed myself and continued walking down the aisle. I had been a nervous wreck since I saw him here of all the places in the world. Everyone kept asking me to relax and calm down as they thought it was wedding jitters. They had no idea the amount of panic I was in right now. As I stood at the altar, I couldn't help but wonder if he remembered our encounter. The memories of last night flooded my mind, making it hard to focus on the joyous occasion unfolding before me. I silently prayed that he wouldn't say or do anything to disrupt the wedding, desperately hoping that my secret would remain buried in the depths of last night's hazy escapades. From the look on his face, it didn't seem like he remembered anything, and neither did he make any attempts to try and tell Adam about last night. I finally relaxed my body and decided to enjoy the moment. After all, it was my wedding that I had planned for an entire year. After the dress rehearsal, I breathed a sigh of relief and went to my room. I locked myself and fell to the ground, releasing all my nervousness. My friends kept knocking at the door to check on me. I showed them in when they asked me if I was fine. I looked very pale and nervous throughout the entire event. I lied to them that I still had a hangover and did not completely sober up. Maybe if I rested a bit, I would feel better. Of course, I was not going to tell them anything from last night. I decided not to mention it to anyone. If no one knows, then no one will talk about it. Simple and effective. After they left, Adam came to my room and asked me if everything was okay. He joked, asking me if I was having second thoughts about the wedding. I pushed him away and told him not to joke around, and as per the rules, he was not allowed to come to my room. I pushed him out of the room, telling him that I would see him tomorrow at the altar. There was a knock again, and I knew it would be Adam, so without any hesitation, I opened the door to tell him to just go. The blood drained from my face when I saw the guy from the bar. I looked around and quickly pulled him inside. I did not want things to get out of hand at the very last minute. I made him sit and begged him not to tell anybody about last night. I explained that it was a mistake and that I was engaged to Adam and it was my bachelorette last night. Desperation filled my voice as I promised to make it up to him somehow, pleading for his understanding. The guy from the bar seemed taken aback by my sincerity, his expressions softening as he listened. Hoping he would keep my secret, I anxiously awaited his response, praying that he would agree to remain silent about our encounter. After a minute, he told me that he had known Adam since childhood. He was also Adam's best man tomorrow in the wedding. I was half relieved that maybe he would not open his mouth about this if he cared about his friendship with Adam. He told me that he would, but he also told me he could not ignore what he felt with me last night. He kept pressing me, asking if I had not felt the same chemistry and sparks that he did. I could not deny the fact that there were definitely sparks last night, but it could also have been because of the alcohol. I hesitated for a moment, unsure of how to respond. The connection we shared was undeniable, but I couldn't ignore the potential consequences it could have on my wedding day. I told him that I truly loved Adam and would do anything that I could to make sure that our wedding goes smoothly without any complications. He said that then there was nothing else he could do if I had made my decision. He would have to agree to my wishes. I breathed a sigh of relief. He then stopped and said that he wasn't gaining anything from it. I mean, I would marry Adam just like I wanted to. Adam would not know about our encounter, but what was he getting out of all this? I was trying hard to explain to him that he would be gaining Adam's friendship for his entire life. He did not look convinced. He asked me again if I was willing to do anything for him to keep it a secret. I vehemently nodded my head in agreement. He came very close to me and whispered that he always had a fantasy to have sex with the bride as the best man. I gasped in shock and took a step back. He smiled wickedly and said that we just had to continue with where we left off from yesterday. It would not be that difficult. He also added that he was a little too drunk to enjoy last night, and it was a good thing that he was sober now. He said that this was the only way or else he would be going straight to Adam's room after this. I felt like I had been pushed to a wall and had no choice. I made him promise not to tell Adam about any of it. I reluctantly agreed to his demand. He came towards me and we passionately started kissing each other. To my surprise, I knew that he was blackmailing me into doing this, but I was actually enjoying it. He was a really good kisser. Within minutes, we undressed and were on the bed. We had wild sex, and now that I was in my senses, I could tell that this was by far the best sex I had so far. After we were done, I quickly covered myself and asked him to leave. I opened the door to make sure that there was no one around before asking him to step out. It was D-Day. I was all nervous and felt like I would cry even if the slightest thing went wrong. Everyone kept telling me that I looked very pretty all dressed up. My mind was thinking, what would Adam be doing, and would his best man keep his promise? Every time someone would come up with an update, I would jump expecting that it could be the news of the wedding being called off. It was finally time for me to walk to the altar. I could see Adam well-groomed and with his best smile looking at me, and then my eyes looked at his best man, who winked and gave me a wicked smile. I decided to focus entirely on Adam as it was our big day, and I did not want anyone to ruin it for us. We took our vows and finally were pronounced husband and wife. Hey you all, I ask you for your advice on what I should do going forward. It is now 1 week since my wedding with Adam, but the guilt is killing me. I had no clue that a random night with a random stranger would change the course of my life. One day, he was a stranger, and the next day, he was my soon-to-be husband's best man. Life could not get any more complicated for me. Should I just admit everything that happened between me and the stranger to Adam? At least I can ask for forgiveness for my sins and promise that I would never ever let this happen again. Would that be enough? I don't want Adam to know from somewhere else about this, and I want to be the first person to break this news to him. Would I be risking my marriage, which is just a few days old, by telling him the entire truth from that night? Please, I really need you guys to advise me, as I am unable to make up my mind as to what to do next. What would be best for me, and also at the same time try to cause as little damage to my relationship with Adam? I am eagerly awaiting your opinions and thoughts.